be agreed to. The member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, for the opportunity to speak on this important motion against the backdrop of this month, Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And I'd like to begin also by thanking the member for Macarthur for the opportunity to speak on this motion and its importance, because it is, of course, one that touches the heart of many of the constituents in the Goldstein electorate and, of course, of people across Australia. Men over the age of 50 who are mindful of their health and sometimes not mindful and therefore get left undiagnosed, because the scourge of prostate cancer is one that is real. In Australia, prostate cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer amongst men. Approximately 3,500 Australian men die of prostate cancer each year, and of course many of those cases, Deputy Speaker, are preventable simply if people get checks early enough. As the member for Groom made the point earlier, more men die of prostate cancer than women die of breast cancer. And that is not to take anything away from the risks of breast cancer of women. We know very well those risks and many of the people it affects. But it highlights the awareness and the publicity that breast cancer receives and how often silent many people are about prostate cancer and why we need to stand up and voice our concern today. Because, of course, for many men who go and seek assistance to check a diagnosis of prostate cancer, it can often be, like many other medical checks, one based on fear. That's part of the reason, an overconfidence of men who feel that they don't need to go and get health checks because, as the member for Hasluck reminded us, we're all invincible. But the reality is human frailty and health frailty comes in. And many men who go off and seek a diagnosis to make sure that they're healthy and well come out with good news, and that's the basis in which they seek that we should be happy and relieved for them. But when it comes down to it, if your fear is the basis in which you're not seeking a diagnosis one way or the other, it is the worst approach to take, because we know that those people who seek a diagnosis early are in a situation where they're in the best position to be able to soften the impacts and to put themselves in the best position to seek assistance. Because while there are many challenges that men will face as they age, prostate cancer is a very real one. And of course, if you receive a diagnosis, very quickly people will face concerns of anguish, of fear, a fallen pride, and of the need of conversations with family, with their loved ones, and with their friends. And we know that there are two major factors that ultimately inform people's risk profiles: their age and the risks of their relatives having prostate cancer in the past. And that's why having those conversations and raising awareness is so critical, so people take action early and so they're in the best position to put themselves forward. And one of the things that we all have to be mindful of is that when people go through these, get these diagnoses, they don't face them alone. And I was just looking up before, Deputy Speaker, at the various support groups for the Goldstein electorate and the community surrounding it, so that if you've recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer, that you know that you can seek assistance from your peers, from people going through similar challenges, and of course to secure medical support. And there are a number of support groups within our area. There's the Bayside Kingston support group, one based just to the north of the Goldstein electorate in St Kilda, one to the east at Monash University, one surrounding and the southeastern prostate cancer support group. But critically also, there are support groups for those people who come from cold backgrounds or those where English is a second language. And there are a number of support groups for the Greek community, in particular in Melbourne, to make sure that if you come from a cultural background that you needn't be in a position of silence or a lack of support. Similarly, there are groups for the LGBTI community, particularly a gay men's support group, which of course seeking support and assistance around others of like mind or experience. And that's the basis that we raise the profile of prostate cancer today.
I thank the member for Goldstein. The question